Now we're recording to a different place. So, welcome to the Divine Tapping Show. And today we have a really interesting topic, which is about clutter and hoarding. So, let's just begin with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, all our angels, all our guides, we ask for the anointing to be upon this meeting. And all the thoughts and worries that we have going round and around in our head to just slow down, and so that we can be fully present in our bodies, in our minds, in our spirit, and receive this healing and guidance. And I always like to say, even if it's not your exact issue, if you heart connect with whoever we're working with and set the intention for your issue, it just helps. Sometimes it makes it completely go away. So I'd like to start with Sharon was the first one to ask me about this. And then Gail Ann, you had also asked about this. And Sharon.
Jerry, how can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, okay.
tell us about your problems with clutter.
Okay, I have I don't know when it happened, but I have so much stuff and uh, I just keep buying. And when I go to sort it out or to clean it up, I get so overwhelmed. Um, and then it just piles up. I start to not see it anymore. And
Yes.
I'm not a lazy person, but I just, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if I have ADHD, but I become like paralyzed almost. Right?
Okay. And has it always been like this, Sharon, or did
No,
it start?
I don't remember it being like this. Like when I was young, I was very organized, and I worked at a job that required organizing. And like my mother was super clean, my sister's super clean, and I don't know if the house is small, but it's just all over the place.
Okay. And do you think you're more just a clutter bug, or do you also let it get all dirty and filthy? I'm not being
No, no,
offensive.
I hear you. No, I hear you. No, I like it clean, but it gets to the point where there's so much stuff that it's not like you could have one of those vacuums or anything. Like there's just so much stuff all over. Yeah. My kitchen is always
Okay.
clean. Yeah.
And I know what you mean that you don't see it, because I have a tendency to be kind of messy because I won't see it. But then all of a sudden I'll see it and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to put this stuff away. And then I start putting stuff away. Uh, but it's real easy to get so accustomed to seeing it. But there is and my house, you can see it's not messy. This is my
Yeah.
office,
It's beautiful. Yeah.
and it's always like this. Uh, in my prayer room, I might leave. My worst thing, I think, because I have so many earrings, I take them off, and wherever I take them off, I come back later and go, oh, there they are. I was looking for those. So when you think about, let's just take one little area of your house. When you think about cleaning up your living room, what kind of thoughts or panic or whatever comes to you?
Um, I well, like my husband doesn't like he doesn't like a lot of things moving around. Like it makes him nervous. So I kind of have to do it when he's not here. Um, and he's a piler. So that I guess the first thought is, where do I start? Like there's just so much stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I just don't know how, I guess. I don't know where to start.
Okay. Okay. So your husband is part of the problem. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know. I don't mean to blame him, but I've got
Oh,
way
it's
more stuff
not
than
blaming him,
him.
honey, but if
Yeah.
you feel like oh, I have to wait till he's not here before I can put this stuff away. Can you see how there's a little bit of concern about what somebody else is going to think or how it's going to affect him? And then you think, well, I can only clean anything when he's not here.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. But I don't know if that's everything, because even when he was like working all the time, um, it didn't get cleaned either, right? So I don't know if it's just an excuse.
So
Um,
would you say we're not trying to find excuses or any kind of
I
blaming? We're
know,
trying to
yeah,
find something that will help you.
yeah,
And the biggest thing is the overwhelm because you're looking at the whole thing.
yeah,
When you look at the whole thing, of course you're overwhelmed. And I know what Abraham suggests and what I've suggested to people and done. I'm going to tell you, I went to visit my former husband, who used to be the neatest person in the world.
mm.
Every time he washed his face, he took a washcloth and wiped the sink out. What kind of pervert does that? But I went to visit him a few years because we became friends after a few years after we were divorced, and we had a beautiful home, 5,000 square feet, which I let him have. Um, I went into the dining room. You couldn't see the top of the table. It was
Yeah,
so piled of stuff. And what I did, I divided that table up into 8 pieces, and I just did 1/8. One
mm,
eighth took me several hours because it
right,
was piled so high. So I know what you're talking about the overwhelm. It can paralyze you when you think you have to do the whole thing and you don't know even where to start. So
right.
you become paralyzed and then you start blaming yourself for letting it get into that condition, yada, yada, yada. Oh, and let me tell you that I stayed there like a week and I did 1/8 of that table per day. And I had to throw it away when he was not there because he would want to go through all the trash to make sure it was all trash, by the way, to make sure I wasn't throwing away anything good. So I would wait till he went somewhere and then I would take it to the trash. So his became, and see if this identifies with any of you who do this, it so much stuff because stuff is all he had left. He lost me, he lost his marriage, and then he lost his business. So he had to hang on to the stuff, terrified to give anything away or put anything away. And I'm not saying that's your situation, but cluttering and hoarding, they're really closely related, even though most people who just clutter would never want to admit that it's really hoarding because it's so related. And hoarding is not a bad word, it's just a condition where you're afraid to turn loose of something for some reason. Either you already had lost a bunch and at least you wanted to control that by keeping it in your sight, or some kind of reason. So, Sharon, would you say that part of the reason you feel so overwhelmed and paralyzed about cleaning up your clutter is that you might have to throw some of it away and you don't know what to throw away and what to keep?
It could be that, but as you're saying this, I think about when I lost my voice. It got a
Yes.
lot worse. It got a lot worse. So when I had to give up my practice, and it all of a sudden became just too monumental,
Yes.
So maybe they're, as you're saying that, I'm thinking maybe they're connected.
Yeah, I think it very well could be.
Yeah.
Um, because I think one time on this show we worked on your hands.
Yes, which
Uh,
are wonderful. Thank you.
yeah, and it was a past life thing where you felt guilty and your hands felt guilty and it held in that trauma. So we never know what in the world is the reason for what we do until we start looking.
Yes.
So, just give me a minute while I tune in to how I can best help you.
Thank you.
So, did you lose a child or a pregnancy?
Yes, too. Very early, like in the
Yes.
pregnancies. Yes.
And were you ever able to have a child?
Yes, I have two older boys. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So it feels like this sense of loss that I can't hang on to stuff in losing the pregnancies has something to do with the I can't put this stuff away. I need to hang on to it. It feels like they're very connected. Now, when I say that, does it ring true for you or does it sound like I'm just crazy?
No. What I thought of was when we worked on the hands. Um, about the guilt I gave away that baby. Remember?
Yes.
So maybe somehow that's connected because that I don't know because I was giving away a baby for the
Yeah.
hands.
You were
Yeah.
giving away a baby in that past life scenario, but no, this feels like it has
This.
something to do with this lifetime and losing. I didn't know you had lost two children. And yeah, it doesn't matter if it's early or late in the pregnancy, it still is a sense of loss. Anybody that's had a miscarriage can tell you it's a profound sense of loss. I
Yes.
guess unless you really didn't want the baby in the first place, but I'm not getting that about you. Um, Even if you accidentally got pregnant, the minute you know you're pregnant, you wanted the baby.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do something kind of unusual, but I just follow my divine guidance. If you tune into the sense of overwhelm you feel about starting to clean up some of this clutter. And I will tell you, do like I did with the table. You're just going to do this every day. You're going to do this little tiny spot. And that's all you're going to focus on because you get distracted when you start putting stuff away and you go in the other room, then you see something else to put away. And then you turn around and you haven't done hardly anything at all that you can see because you got distracted. So, what we're going to help you program to do is stay right there in one little spot, and that's all you're going to clean. And when you get done, there's going to be a hole there. Okay. But when I tell you, Sharon, you're going to clean one little spot, and the overwhelm and the paralyzation, is that what you call it, is coming in. How does it feel on a scale of 1 to 10 of feeling overwhelmed?
Um. Well, I just feel numb. I don't feel. But I think about it. I don't feel anxiety. I more feel like numb.
Okay. So you feel numb. Is
But I
feeling
think about it.
numb going to stop you from putting stuff away and cleaning up?
No, no. I'll make it happen.
Okay. All right. So before you mentioned that when you thought about it, you felt overwhelmed and paralyzed.
Yes.
Okay. So if you think about cleaning up, imagine that you're going to do it right now.
Okay.
So how paralyzed do you feel?
both, I feel like kind of excited. If I gave it a number, I'd say an 8. Like I'm mixed up now. I'm excited and to get started, and overwhelmed in that can I do it kind of thing.
Okay. Let me ask you another way. How sure are you that you're going to clean up a little spot when we get off this call?
100%.
So you don't need me anymore. Just talking to mature you.
Well, it's like a promise, right?
Okay. All right. But we're going to still do the exercise, even though now I can't measure. You messed me up because now you want to do
Sorry.
it. Okay. So, Sharon, I want you to close your eyes and imagine there's a circle of light.
Okay.
And you're going to invite the spirit of these two children who were going to come to you. And by the way, I've never actually seen a tiny little baby spirit. They're usually a grown-up spirit, but they take baby form. And just pretend they're babies if that's more helpful. So these two little baby spirits are in this circle of light, and they're giving you permission to let them go. Like, we came, we were with you, and you probably already know this, but the spirit almost never enters the fetus until further down the line. And or they come and they go. I've seen them coming and they going. And they're giving you permission to let them go. And they're also, because when we have a miscarriage, we always wonder if it's something we did. We just don't know. So they're extending you full pardon, assuring you it was nothing you did, and giving you permission to not only let them go, but to let stuff in your life that doesn't serve you, to just let it go. And also, you see, it feels like part of you is worried that suddenly you're going to have nothing. And they're assuring you that you will always have what you need. They're beautiful spirits. You will always have what you need, Mama. You will always have what you need. And also giving you permission to speak more clearly with your voice. And it's if every little piece of clutter that you pick up and lovingly put away or throw away without any self-blame, that it strengthens your vocal cords. That you can even say out loud, I no longer need this, or I appreciate this and I'm going to give it to someone else, or I do need this and I'm going to put it in a safe place. So that's a visualization for you to have, and just breathe in and breathe out. Ah, yes. And tell me how you feel about going to clean some stuff up when we're done. Do you
I
feel
feel
any?
really good.
Okay.
I feel like it's all connected, like you said. So that really helps me.
It is connected, and it can be connected to a different thing. We're going to be working with Gail Ann in a few minutes, and it could be something completely different for Gail Ann. So thank you so much. You were a
Thank you.
wonderful volunteer, and
Thank you.
I look forward to hearing how you did. Remember now, don't say, I'm going to be like a tornado and do my whole house. You're just going to do one little spot.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Take a picture before and after and send it to me. One little spot. Okay. All right, honey. Thank you so much. Okay, so Gail-Ann, are you ready? Can you undo your microphone?
Oh, I'm
There you
ready.
go. So tell us about your problem.
Okay, mine is clutter. All right.
Yes.
And I have cleaning people that come, every 3 weeks or so. And so what I do is I run around, and there's usually paper on the floor and there's, and I put it in bags. Okay. And the bags go into the bedroom.
Where?
The bed. So what I have is a bedroom full of bags of paper and, usually I get the clothes and all that get up. But, and I think what brought this to well, um, I came out of a hoarder house, mm, 10 years ago. I had help and cleaned out a whole house, and my husband and I created together. But
Okay.
it's nothing like that. This is not what's going on at this point. But what I do have is I have a bedroom full of bags of whatever I picked up when the cleaning people kind of go into bags, and so I need to go through that. Now, what happened the other night was. I had something on the stove and it was late and I had a coffee. I was reheating some coffee on the stove and I dozed off. And next thing you know, I live in a rate converted factory and I made the mistake of opening the door. Well, anyway, next thing I know, the firemen are there with the hats and the axes and oh dear God.
Oh my
Luckily,
goodness.
well, it was just smoke, but luckily, I had stopped it and all of this. So the policeman asked me how old I was, and I thought to myself, all I need now is to come and look at the apartment. I don't want to get kicked out. So at any rate, but this is not. It's not the situation that was in my house at all. It's just I have procrastinated and managed to go out and dance and do all kinds of other things and sit down and go through my bags that are.
Okay, don't quit the dancing now.
Oh, I never would do that 3 times a week.
Okay.
All right.
Dancing is way more important than cleaning up clutter.
I
You
know.
heard it from
Yeah,
the source.
I know. All right. So,
Okay.
but what I have to say is that there's shame because the police, well, it was just one policeman. He went into the apartment. Yeah, he went in. I don't know whether he went in the bedroom. I don't know where he went. Um, but anyway, there's shame connected with this.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and overwhelm as well. With me, it's putting the seat of the pants on the seat of the chair and staying there long enough to well, I mean, I understand what you were saying about take 1/8 of whatever, or, and I guess someone said to me once, Gillian, any surface you have, you manage to put something on it. And I thought that is true. So, all right.
Okay. So you have shame connected with it,
Right.
but what emotion do you have when you think about, see, when things get real messy, people think about, I got to do the whole thing. Well, that would just paralyze anybody, especially if you haven't noticed it in a while and you have a really big mess. So when you think about cleaning
Well, the thing
even
is
a
that
corner,
the
what
cleaning people
happens?
get me to mobilize. If I know the cleaning people come, I'll run around and pick up sticks.
Okay, so you can't, so if you have cleaning people coming, can't they clean it for you?
No, no, no. They just come and do my floor. It's not that it's dirty. It just I need to sort it. I need to go through the bags. I manage before they come. I manage to get everything off the floor. They come and do the floor. But then I have a collection of bags, okay,
Okay,
that I don't go through or
so
haven't.
what if you did 5 bags a day? Are you talking about little grocery bags?
Um,
Kind of plastic ones from Walmart?
no, no, I'm talking more like a shopping bag kind of thing. A little
Okay,
bigger than, Yeah, but
A little bigger.
yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
and and surfaces. Some of it, the paper is one thing, but the surfaces have, you know, what do I want to say? Not exactly tchotchkes, but anything from cords to my, you know, all kinds of, not paper, you know.
okay. Okay. So you said there's shame associated with it.
Right.
So can you
And
remember
I've
the first time?
procrastinated, you know, and
Can you remember the first time you felt shame about this?
oh, I felt shame about the house that I lived in. I wouldn't let anybody in it. This was the house. I've been out of the house for 10 years. No, more. Yeah, 10 years I've been out of the house. That house I wouldn't let people in. Um, it's not like that. I've been in this apartment now for 10 years, but the house I had before that, you know, and when I had to clean it to when my husband died, and I've been a widow for 13 years. That was tremendous shame
Okay.
then.
Well,
Yeah.
let's start by releasing some of the past shame. Scale of 1 to 10, how bad can you feel it even today?
How bad? Do you mean how much
Yeah.
shame? Is that what
How
you're
much
asking me?
shame do you feel today thinking
Oh,
about that and what you got going on right now?
somewhere around a 9.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty high. Okay, so we're going to tap on some of that shame, take that
Okay.
layer off, because shame is the very lowest vibration. Shame and guilt are hand in hand. You never have guilt without shame and shame without guilt. Have you ever noticed that? They're like cousins. No, they're closer. They're Siamese twins. Okay, so just tap with me, and everybody just put your heart together with Gail Ann, because we
I
really
appreciate that.
do want to help it so she can go and clean up at least one bag. Okay, you got to start somewhere, and you can't look at the thing as a whole thing. You can't say, well, I'm going to take a dump truck and throw it all in there, because you'll have a sense of loss. Because the only reason you hoard things is because some subconscious part of you feels like, well, that's all I have. Well, what if I never get any more? What if there's an emergency? I might need this stack of old bills from 20 years ago. I
Oh
mean,
no, I don't feel that way. Um, I think it's interesting you said about guilt. I probably feel if there's anything around guilt, it would be maybe, you know, um, probably relative to my husband that I didn't make a nice house for him,
you didn't recognize what?
that I didn't make a nice house for my husband when I had to, you know, I mean, that I didn't,
Okay,
yeah.
well, you have shame and guilt. Whether
I,
it's
I was
about
saying
you,
I hadn't thought about the guilt, that if I had any guilt, that would be where it would be.
okay, you think so. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Because see, I want you to pay attention when we're tapping, because it's usually not what you think it is. If you give a chance for it to take off the first layer, there's no telling what you might recognize and clear, because this part of you is the one that hides the most, especially when you're cluttering and hoarding. It's a part of you that kind of remains hidden because it doesn't want to be healed. It wants to hold on to the stuff for some kind of unconscious reason. It's no kind of blaming at all. It's some part of you that wants to hold on to it, not your conscious self. Your conscious self knows you don't need all those little pieces of paper on the floor. We're not talking about anything conscious. We're talking straight unconscious here. So follow after me. I feel shame and guilt because I didn't make a good home.
I feel shame and guilt because I didn't make a good home for my husband.
And it's painful to me.
It's painful for me.
I feel so sad.
I feel so bad.
I could have done better,
I could have done better.
but I just couldn't.
I just couldn't.
I don't understand this part of me.
I don't understand this part of me.
It's not a conscious part of me.
It's not a conscious part of me.
Consciously, I wanted to make a good home.
Well, that's not totally true. But anyway, consciously, I wanted to make it.
Okay,
I'm a career
hold the
person.
phone. Hold the phone. If you feel guilty because you didn't make a good home, but you didn't really want to make a good home, I'm
Well,
lost.
well, I was more interested and am more interested in my career than I was in making a good home.
Okay. And you feel guilty about that?
I mean, in terms of not, I could have made a better home. I mean, yes, but
Okay.
there was also a philosophy that I'm not a housefrau.
Okay. Neither am I. I really think everybody should have housekeepers if they can. Don't you?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Well,
So
I do have to. All right, so I
let's
couldn't
just
say
tap
that.
on the
You know, when
on the shame and the guilt. And now I'm
yeah,
saying this, hold on just a minute. All of us here are healers. And when a session is not going in a direction that you thought it was, just let it be okay. Let it be okay. You don't have to go, oh, I'm losing control. I don't know what to say. Just let it be okay that different things are coming up for the client that maybe you didn't expect. And Gail-Ann, you probably needed to express out loud some of the things that you're expressing out loud. So,
I wasn't aware that I was that guilty. I felt that guilty about not making a good home for my husband. Because
okay.
I would have said to you, "Oh no, that wasn't the basis of the relationship."
Okay, so it doesn't matter the reason.
Right.
I feel shame and guilt,
Doesn't matter the reason. I feel shame and guilt,
and I'm just now recognizing it.
and I'm just now recognizing it.
I love and forgive myself for that.
I love and forgive myself.
I choose to let it go.
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 I'm free to make different choices.
I'm free to make different choices.
I release that shame.
I release that shame.
I release that guilt.
I release that guilt.
I never thought that was the reason.
I never thought that was the reason.
I release the shame.
I release the shame.
I release the guilt.
I release the guilt.
I release the shame.
I release the shame.
I release the guilt.
I release the guilt.
Okay, take a deep breath in and out. Check in with your guilt. Is it still a 9 or is it a little bit better?
Maybe a 5.
Okay. All right. So why do you suppose it's so hard for you to let it all go? Just guess.
It's making me laugh. Because I have to have some guilt. I don't really need that, but this is making me laugh. That's what
Well,
I
laughing
don't
is
really need.
good.
I know I don't need the guilt, so I'm willing to let it go.
Okay. I'm willing to let all the guilt go
I'm willing to let all the guilt go
and clean just a little bit.
and clean just a little bit. Yes,
Maybe one of those bags a day.
consistently. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
One bag a day, maybe every other. Well, all right.
Every day. One bag a day,
One bag a day. All right.
except for
One bag a day.
Sunday.
I'm sorry.
Except for Sunday.
Except for Sunday.
Even God rested.
Even God rested on Sunday.
It's such hard work.
It's hard work. I have to incorporate some kind of play in this, or I won't do it.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. I could be dancing
Oh,
instead of cleaning one bag a day.
I could be dancing instead of cleaning one bag a day.
I could dance while I'm cleaning.
I was thinking. That's what I thought you said. I was dancing. I could dance
Yeah.
while I.
So
Yeah.
here's what you're going to do, Gillian. You're going to get one bag. What's your favorite kind of dance?
I'm sorry. Oh, salsa.
Oh, I love salsa too. So you're going to put
I
on
line dance.
some
Yeah,
salsa
I
music.
Latin line dance. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, cool. And you're going to hold a bag of trash. And before you start emptying it, you're going to salsa with it. So you're going to turn this into something fun. Get the
Oh, it has to
music
be fun.
going. Oh, yeah.
See, yeah. What you don't know about me is I'm the joyologist, so I
Oh,
have to have.
cool.
Yeah. So at any rate, it has to be fun, or I am not going to do this at all.
Okay.
So
Well, make it fun. Dance with
yeah,
your bag.
dance.
Uh,
Oh God, that's
I wish
hysterical. Dance with your
somebody
bag.
could take a picture of you dancing with the bag or a little video and send it to me. I'd put it on TikTok.
Listen, well then it has to go on my Facebook, the joyologist. Yeah, okay.
Okay, put it on your Facebook then.
Oh no,
Dancing.
I'll send it to
Hey,
I'll
I'm
send it
cured
to
of
you.
being messy. I am now dancing with my trash.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. Well,
Thank you so
you.
much.
You did
Thank
a
you so
great
much.
job. You did a great job. Thank you.
We dance together. Thank you so much.
Yes, dancing is it. All right. Okay, so that's all the formal volunteers I have. Is there anybody who has a problem? Doesn't have to be with being messy. It can be something else. You can undo your microphone or you can put it in the chat if you would prefer. And I'll just wait for you. Anybody? I charge $6.50 an hour. So if you got a question, get it for free. Free treatment. Woo! Anybody? Okay. I'm not seeing anything in the, let me check the chat.
Well, I'll
I
do
just
another one.
I just unmuted
Different issue
myself.
if you're up
Oops.
for it.
Oh, Wilma. Hey,
Yes.
how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm just wondering if I can hijack this for a few minutes for you to have another look at my tooth to see if the nerves are
Repairing?
yeah.
Okay. Now, most of the pain is gone. Is that right?
Most of the pain is gone, and
Okay.
what's left is every once in a while I'm trying to keep myself from energetically going to the place of, oh my God, what if it's not really gone? But I
Right.
find myself sometimes trying to keep myself from going there. So
Okay. All right. So for people who weren't here, Wilma Marie, I want to call it you Willa Marie. We talked about that. Was having terrible mouth pain, excruciating, and we worked together and it went down to like a 3. Now, you probably do need to see a dentist when you have the funds because the nerves are repairing, but where is this tooth? It
It's
feels
towards the back on the upper upper tooth.
okay. So is any other part of your body feeling any kind of pain or stress?
Well, like I mentioned to you the last time about the varicose vein issue, and
Oh yeah. And I told you, no, you're not going to pop a gasket.
yeah, there's some I think most of the stress is around the money, but
Okay.
there's also some I'm aware sometimes that I have dizzy spells and I sometimes get acid reflux, but I think those are all tied to the stress. Like I
Yeah.
think those are all things that
Here's what I know,
the
and
stress
here's
around the
why I
money is
say
doing.
eventually you probably need to see a dentist. And if you can do it without the tooth, just get it pulled, because every tooth is connected to an organ in the body.
Mhm.
And oh, Lee, okay. Lee is helping you out with money for the
Yes,
dentist.
yes. So I'm going to see a dentist. I'm just waiting for the money to clear and then I'm going to make the appointment with the dentist. And I'm
Okay.
hoping it's not going to have to be pulled, but I have noticed that it's broken.
Yeah, it feels like it's cracked for sure.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I've noticed it's actually broken. So I think that might be part of it, but the pain is today, the pain is almost gone.
Okay. And I think Spirit is giving you a reprieve. However, unless you really need the tooth, which if it's way in the back, maybe you don't. A cracked tooth is real hard to save. Now, they could do maybe a root canal. There's no guarantee, even with a root canal. And you're looking at a lot of money for a root
When
canal
I
and a crown.
look, when I called the other day, they gave me a price for the initial exam and the x-rays and suggested it probably is going to be a root canal from what I was telling them. And depending on so they gave me a base price for the root canal and a base price for an extraction. And they said, and that price for the root canal goes up depending on how hard it is to reach it and how many nerves there are that have to, or how many roots there are.
Yes.
So that's already going to be a heavy expense. So I'm already prepared that the tooth is probably going to be removed. I would have liked to have it saved, but
Okay. Well, I'm telling you this for a couple of reasons. I interviewed a guy a few years ago, and I think you've been with me a while, Melon Thomas Benedict.
yes.
And he had a near-death experience, like it lasted an hour. And when he was on the other side, he was asking a lot of questions about why do people get old and et cetera, et cetera. And he was told that if you really want to live a long time, pull out all your teeth, because every little infection in your tooth can affect an organ. And just because you have a root canal doesn't mean that there's not a little bit of infection. And I know this personally because I've probably had 8 root canals. And it came a point where every night I had a low-grade fever and I felt bad. And then I started getting mouth pain. And when I had to get some of those root canals pulled, couldn't save them. And they had crowns. I'm talking thousands of dollars. And when they did, pull, the ones they had to pull, everyone had a little pocket of pus on the end, even though it had a root canal. So I'm not a huge proponent that you have to save every tooth, because if you get rid of it, you know, unless you really, really need it for chewing or something like that, and that's a personal choice that you can make.
Up,
My
up
little,
until up until yesterday, I was hoping after I talked to the dentist's office that there's something in between the extraction and the root canal. But then early this morning when I was feeling around, I realized that tooth has actually got a significant crack in it.
yes. Okay, so of course I'm not a doctor, and I do think you need to go. I'm just advising you not to put $2,000 in a tooth that's not really, really necessary, because if they can't really, really do a good job, then you could still have trouble in whatever organ it's connected to. There's actually, you can look it up online. There's a chart that tells you which tooth is connected to which organ. And if it's connected to your stomach, you're surely going to know it has something to do with the acid reflux. So anyway, but let me just go in and see if I can't soothe. It feels like the gum around it is still kind of swollen. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I just put my tongue on it and I felt the pressure and the pain. So,
Yeah.
but I think that's also happening at a time while I'm listening to you that I'm hearing I'm going to have it taken out.
Yeah, that's my, and I'm not allowed, I guess, to say, you need to pull that tooth. Well, I guess I can say that. What are you going to do, sue me?
No, I was just hoping that I would be able to save it, but
Yeah, and I'm asking my little guys if they can grow your tooth back together, but um, let me go back in there. We've got some time, and see if I can't have them reduce that swollen part around your gum, because that's part of it is just because you had it so long. How long did you have it before you came on the show?
oh my gosh, it's been a couple of weeks that it's been just this part of my mouth, but it's
Okay.
when I started thinking I was clearing my abundance issues, that it started in the pain in my jaw and then all the way up to my ear and then up to my temple. And then I thought
Okay.
that had cleared. And now it's just been this pain in the mouth is more excruciating than it was when it was the jaw and the whole face.
But
Like
it's
like
not
just the
hurting
just the right,
now.
it's not hurting right now. Like right this minute, it's not hurting.
Okay. Because it knows it better not while it's on my show.
And it also could be psychologically that I've been holding, even while even after finding out how much it's going to cost, and it's either going to be an extraction or a root canal, and hoping there's something in between. I think there's
Okay.
now a part of me that's
Okay.
realizing I'm not going to be able to save it. And that feels sad.
Okay. And so do you have every single one of your original teeth in your mouth?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. So why is it so much harder to think about letting this one go?
Because I think it's been maybe 2 months that I lost a tooth on the other side, on the upper side.
Yes.
But that one I was expecting because I haven't been able to see a dentist for a very long time. So And that one
Okay.
was right at the back, so it's like nobody's going to know about it. But this one on the right-hand side is towards the back. And then I'm concerned that it's close enough that if I smile, people will see there's no tooth there.
Okay. And
Unless I just don't smile.
oh no, you'll always smile, silly rabbit. And how old are you?
I'm 66.
Okay, you're 66. Well, you've done good to keep all the teeth that you have, my dear. And there's no shame if you lose a tooth, you lose a tooth. I mean, sooner or later you'll get some brand new teeth and they won't ever hurt. Maybe not, maybe not. Okay, while we still have a little time, let me go in there and see if I can't give you some more relief. And so just close your eyes, pardon my dogs. And I'm going to call these little clearamids, and I'm anointing them with Holy Spirit healing light. And then I'm going to place them in your knees, and they're going in your knees. They like to mess around behind your knees too, because that stimulates lymphatic flow, which everybody needs better. And they're whirling and twirling up your body, and they are going to stop at your stomach, and it's mostly your esophagus that it is irritated, and this contributes to the acid reflux. And of course they would recommend diet-wise more soothing foods, staying away from acidic products and sugar. And also it's real helpful to drink just a little quarter teaspoon of baking soda without aluminum in it, not baking powder, baking soda before you go to bed, because this will help to alkalinize your body. It's also real good to swish that around in your mouth, because it helps to alkalinize your mouth and your gums. And okay, and here they go, up into your jaw and the jawbone. It seems like this, let's call it an aggravation, has got all your jawbone kind of vibrating in sympathy with it, if that makes any sense.
It does.
And so we're just asking them to send some that beautiful pink healing. It's like a thick balm. They're soothing into your jawbone, both upper and lower, and you can just let your jaw relax, which they're showing me that you may not realize it, but you're clenching your teeth a lot. And when you do that, it puts added pressure on this cracked tooth, and it aggravates it. Now, when they were in there before, they did a lot of cushioning things, and now they have these itty bitty little syringes that they're putting in your gum to kind of suck out some of that inflammation. And they're asking for you to be very aware of how, ask Spirit to help you show me when I'm clenching my jaw, because that is putting pressure on all of your jawbone and you don't realize you're doing it. And this is somewhat connected to your finances, because when you think about your finances, you're not realizing, or maybe you are, that you're getting tension in your jaw, and it sends nerve responses all over your body. And I'm just going to bring them back home now because Spirit wants to talk to you a minute and tell you to work on your receiving, because when you receive something good, like the healing I'm giving you, well, Spirit is giving you through me, the financial assistance you've recently gotten, that you're just in such a state of disbelief. It's like you're shutting the door to receiving more. So a good exercise for you to do daily is to tap, I'm open to receive, I'm open to receive. Get that mantra going in your brain to override that old habitual thing of nothing good ever lasts. And this is for everybody who's having trouble receiving. You think it has nothing to do with me. People just don't ever give me a break, yada, yada, yada. But in truth, it is. You have trouble receiving. So, and it's no shame. None of this is a need for you to feel shame. Just realize, oh, I didn't know that. And it's always an unconscious part of you. So, blame it on that nasty ass unconscious part of me that didn't want me to receive, has me convinced I can't receive. So I am open to receiving abundance, whatever it is. You know, my old standby, where's my phone? Here it is. Set your phone every hour, 5 days in a row, 5 times a day. You're going to tap whatever it is that's good for you. I am open to receive. I am open to receive. And don't say, oh, I'll remember. You will not remember to do it every hour. I know, because sometimes I don't set my clock. And I think, oh, I'm going to tap every hour. And then 3 hours have gone by and I didn't do it. So your job, should you choose to accept it, is to tap in. I'm open to receive. Maybe you spent years with a bunch of bad stuff happening, or something good and then something bad, and those days are over for you. Spirit is trying to give you a lesson, and partly through this mouth thing, because it brought you here, and you're open to receive. Now, are you open to receive?
I am absolutely open to receive, and I'm going to do the baking soda thing. The
Yes.
thing was when the food was mentioned, the problem is what I wind up having enough money to buy is the stuff that's marked down, and I don't have money to buy. And I never eat sugar anyway. I don't eat
Oh,
sugar
good.
at all. But and I'm aware if I had money I could buy fresh fruit and fresh vegetables and stuff that's fully alive, as opposed to the markdown stuff that you're buying it before they throw it out. So
Okay.
I'm going to begin, honestly, I'm open to receive. You hit the nail
Yes.
on the head, because I realized the other day I'm not open to receive, because even when Lee offered to pay for the session for me, it was such a blessing for me. And then when she said that she would send me some money for the dentist if I go, I said to her, no. I said, I can't let you do that because I can't pay you back. And then the next day, I felt guided to say, you need to accept what's extended to you. So you hit the nail on the head. Up until now, I've not been in a
Okay.
not
Also,
consciously realizing that I wasn't receiving. I was pushing.
and you need to tell a different story. I don't want you to ever tell that story that you have to buy marked down food. I don't care if it's true. Do you want it to keep being true? So change it to, I'm open to receiving all the good the divine has for me, and you'll be surprised what can happen when you keep singing the same song. And I've told this story and I'm going to go over time, but I'm going to say what Spirit said to me right after I did the first show. And I said to my husband, why can't I get paid for channeling? Why can't I get paid for doing this? It's so much fun. Why can't people line up to pay me for that? And Spirit says, Rebecca, shut up. Well, not really. But anyway, Rebecca, you just guaranteed people will, the universe has to show you 1,000 ways people are not going to pay you. So change it, start prophesying. I'm open to receiving, and talk, prophesy your own good all the time about, things are getting better for me, and they will. Okay.
So it was, I'm open to receiving all the good the divine has for me.
Yes. Are you?
Okay. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to run with this. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Watch every word that comes out of your mouth. And this is not just for Willa Marie, it's for everybody. Watch every word that comes out of your mouth and change it to what you want it to be, not to the old habitual patterns. You are creating tomorrow's reality today. So let's create good together. Thank you all for being here. I love you, and I'll see you next week. Oh, and if you want to volunteer, you need to get in touch with me. You know how. I love you.